You were not just a person in my life. You were the place my heart returned to after every long day. When the world felt loud and exhausting, your presence was quiet comfort. Our love did not begin with fireworks or dramatic confessions. It grew slowly, softly, the way sunrise replaces darkness without asking permission. We learned each other in ordinary moments, shared silences, unfinished conversations, and laughter that needed no explanation. I trusted you without fear. Trust came naturally, like breathing. You knew my insecurities, my past wounds, and the dreams I was too afraid to say out loud. And instead of judging me, you held those parts gently, promising they were safe with you. You said I was your peace, and I believed you because I felt the same. We planned futures that existed only in whispered hopes, yet felt so real they could be touched. Love, to me, became your voice calling my name. It became the habit of checking my phone, knowing a message from you would be there. You made the world feel manageable. Even the hardest days ended with comfort because you were part of them. I gave you my loyalty without hesitation, my heart without conditions. I never imagined love could be fragile when it felt so complete. People warned me that nothing lasts forever, but I ignored them. How could something so real disappear? We promised honesty, promised to choose each other even when it was difficult. I believed those promises were unbreakable because they came from you. And when you looked at me, I saw certainty, not doubt. I never questioned your absence or your late replies. I trusted your words more than my instincts. Love made me blind in the gentlest way. I believed that if two people loved deeply enough, betrayal would never find a place between them. I was wrong, but at that time, I did not know it. Back then, my world was full because you were in it. I didn't realize that giving someone everything also meant risking losing myself. I thought love was enough to protect us. I thought we were stronger than the mistakes people warned about. And for a while, we were. But love, I learned too late, does not disappear loudly. Sometimes, it begins to fade in silence. The change did not come suddenly. It crept in quietly, hiding behind excuses and half smiles. Your attention faded before your presence did. Conversations grew shorter. Your laughter felt distant, like it belonged to someone else. I noticed, but I convinced myself I was overthinking. Love makes you defend the person who is hurting you. You started choosing your phone over our conversations. Your eyes drifted away while I spoke, and your replies felt automatic. I told myself people get busy, that life gets heavy sometimes. I ignored the heaviness in my chest because admitting it meant facing the truth I was not ready for. There were moments when you felt absent even while standing beside me. Your touch lacked warmth, your words lacked intention. I asked if something was wrong, and you said everything was fine. I trusted that answer because it came from you. I didn't know that silence could lie better than words. Slowly, I began to feel alone in a relationship that once made me feel whole. I tried harder, loved louder, gave more. I believed love could fix distance if I poured enough of myself into it. What I didn't realize was that love cannot compete with secrecy. The signs were there. The emotional distance. The guarded tone. The way you smiled differently when someone else's name appeared on your screen. I noticed, but I looked away. Accepting betrayal felt more painful than denying it. I blamed myself for your absence. I wondered if I wasn't enough anymore. I questioned my worth, my voice, my place in your life. Infidelity does not begin with someone else. It begins when one partner stops protecting the bond they promised to honor. You reassured me just enough to keep me hopeful, but never enough to bring me peace. And hope, I learned, can be cruel when it is built on lies. The silence between us grew heavier each day. And though I felt something breaking, I held on to the memory of who you used to be. I loved the version of you that no longer existed, unaware that the person I trusted had already chosen someone else in their heart. The truth did not arrive dramatically. There was no shouting, no confrontation filled with anger. It came quietly, like everything else you took from me. I found out not through confession, but through silence that no longer made sense. When I realized you had given your emotional loyalty to someone else, my world stopped. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the realization that every doubt I ignored had been telling the truth. You didn't deny it when I finally asked. And that hurt more than any lie could. You said it just happened. But betrayal is never sudden. It is a series of choices, each one moving further away from love. You chose secrecy. You chose distance. You chose someone else while keeping me in the dark. I felt small, replaceable, invisible. I questioned every memory, every promise. Were they ever real, or were they just convenient? The love I trusted so deeply now felt like a story that ended without warning. The pain was quiet but unbearable. I didn't scream or beg. I simply broke inside. Losing you wasn't loud, it was devastating in silence. You walked away emotionally long before you left physically. What hurt the most wasn't that you loved someone else. It was that you stopped loving me while letting me believe I was still safe. Infidelity steals more than trust, it steals peace, confidence, and the ability to believe again. You apologized, but apologies cannot undo emotional abandonment. I didn't hate you. I just didn't recognize myself anymore. I was someone who loved honestly and was punished for it. That day, I lost more than you. I lost the version of myself who believed love was always kind. After you left, the silence was overwhelming. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that echoes memories you can't escape. Every place reminded me of you. Every quiet moment replayed what went wrong. Healing didn't come quickly. It came in waves of understanding and acceptance. I learned that love should never make you question your worth. I learned that loyalty is not proven by words, but by choices made when no one is watching. Your betrayal taught me lessons I never asked to learn. Slowly, I began to rebuild myself. I stopped blaming myself for loving deeply. Loving fully was never my mistake. Trusting you was not my weakness. Your inability to protect our bond was not a reflection of my value. I learned to sit with the silence instead of fearing it. In that silence, I found myself again. Stronger. Wiser. More careful, but not broken. You were my everything once. And when you left, my world did fall apart. But from that destruction, I built a new understanding of love. One that begins with self-respect and ends with honesty. Some wounds don't disappear, but they teach us how to survive. And though your absence changed me, it did not destroy me. I learned that losing someone who betrayed you is not a loss, it is a release.